Retired Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano joins me now. If Harris wins, can we expect the same foreign policy we got with Biden?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because it's the same people. There's a common thread between Obama, Biden, and Harris, and it's all the same people with a very common strategy. And it's particularly focused on Russia, Iran, and China, which has always been the main focus. But their difference is it's engage and align. You engage these countries, you figure out what the problem is, give them something, and then hope it stops. So that's not going to change. But here's what is going to change. There are so many elements of the Biden, Obama, Harris policy that are just unsustainable. She just mentioned one of them, Israel. If you listen to her speech, all the things that she wants to do, all those goals are actually incompatible. If you have a strategy that isn't suitable, feasible, and acceptable, that it can't actually work, it's not really a strategy. So a strategy of letting Iran run wild in the Middle East, that won't work. Their energy strategy won't work. We're never going to get to net zero or green transition. So there are several things where Harris, unfortunately, is going to wind up living with the consequences of over a decade of these policies where they're just bumping up against reality and completely failing.
Hamas leader Sinwar reportedly asking for a guarantee of survival in exchange for a ceasefire deal. Are we close to a deal, in your opinion, Colonel?
Well, I'm not really sure a deal at this point means anything other than people can say, oh, look, we got a ceasefire. Gaza's already been destroyed. You got to figure out how to rebuild it. Hamas has been greatly reduced in power. You have to figure out how to keep them from coming back. Iran is still running wild in the region. You have to figure out how to deal with that. So it's like we've moved on with the problem, right? The problem is now a different thing, but they're all focused on the ceasefire.
It seems like a stalemate in the Middle East. A war has not broken out, really, a shooting war between Israel and Iran. Hezbollah is exchanging rockets with Israel. That's fairly quiet. Is there a stalemate here?
No, there's not, because as long as Iran is flush with money, which, let's be honest, they are, because the U.S. gave them so much sanction relief that they literally have a huge war chest, and it's literally a war chest. And as long as they're unbound and they can do what they want, and they can always play the nuclear card whenever they want, Iran can find ways to punch at Israel. And Israel, look, as Golda Meir once said, all they can ever do is punch back, right? They cannot take the first hit. So I don't think it's safe in the region as long as we have a policy which doesn't deal with Iran.
I'd like you to sort this one out for us, Colonel. President Biden had changed our nuclear strategy. He's preparing for coordinated confrontations with Russia, China, North Korea. China says they are gravely concerned. Sort it out for us. What's going on here?
Well, so I can't really talk about the strategy because it's classified and none of us have read it. But if it's what they publicly say, which is, look, we have to deter simultaneously not just Russia, which we did during the Cold War, but China, which will have a nuclear capability which is equal to Russia and the United States. And then you've got North Korea, which is a regional problem. And then potentially you might even have Iran. And so it's not just that. You also have to defend things, which is missile defense. So having that shift, if they're doing that, that's good. There's two things. There's good news and bad news. The good thing is, 10 years ago, the orthodoxy from the Obama people, let's just get rid of nuclear weapons. That's completely died. The Democrats, they're okay with the triad. They're okay with nuclear modernization. That's good. They're okay with missile defense. That's all great. Here's the other thing that's of concern. They have this idea called integrated deterrence, which is the way we're going to integrate them is just not with nuclear weapons, right? We're going to it's a whole mix of everything we do. This is complete fairy dust and nonsense, and it's now orthodoxy in the Pentagon. And it's actually very, very destabilizing. The only thing that deters a nuclear weapon is another nuclear weapon. And so we have to have a strong nuclear policy. They're doing better, way better than Obama did, because reality has forced them to change their policies. We'll see if it's good enough.
Okay, now you've got us all worried. James Carafano, thanks for joining us. See you again real soon, James.